Welcome to Project Eden for Empyrion Galactic Survival. And we're starting on top of my SV, overlooking the unfinished escape rocket that we discovered in the last part on this barren planet. And I thought what I want to do is start by giving you an update of the looting opportunities here, especially with respect to fuel. Because what you'll see here is we got some booster rockets attached to the side of the base of the ship. I'm assuming that the center bit here is a fuel tank, which if I go inside here you'll see is kind of goes all the way up through here. You can see I've looted everything out of here, but more importantly these side booster rockets here were also full of fuel cells, and that actually complements the fuel cells that were in here. And you can see I've actually looted out all these, and what I had to do in the end, or the easiest way I found to do it, was to actually bring the SV out here and then just work down there rather than trying to get up and down this whole area here. So what I've done is I've pulled out virtually as much as I can from this area. Now what I want to do in this part is bring in the Skaar radar so that we can work on the process of working out a way that we can move both capital vessels docked together. And in fact, this is probably a little bit rough here, isn't it? Let me just see if I can land. I'm going to land well forward, actually. Come, you can do it. I'm just going to jump out, and I'm just looking for possible empty space. I also went round and cleared out some of these other buildings around here and found some more fuel cells. I think we need to move possibly to somewhere that's a little bit flatter, because I want to actually, before we do that, I'll just show you. And if you watched the previous video, you might be aware that I was under the impression that I was unable to spawn the ship on this planet or even construct it. But what actually was is I hadn't put in the one large optronics matrix. So that's what was stopping me actually producing this ship. So there is no restriction on producing ships here. You can do that, and it's going to take about a second to do it, because I've put so many composite stuff in there. I also loaded in quite a few of what they are. Go to building supplies. These advanced factory construction units. You can see what this does is if you put some of these in, it reduces the production time by 2 hours. I think I put about 3 of those in there as well, so that I could get it down to roughly 1 second. Or as short as possible is probably the better way to say it. Let's see if we can find. I don't want to move too far away from. Whoops. This unfinished escape rocket, because in case we've got to do a little bit of rebuilding. But I would like to find somewhere where it's a little bit flatter, that we can park the two ships side by side, so we've got a comparison for size. So I might go for just about here. We might have to flatten a few rocks. I mean, it's not brilliant, but oops. Just turn the thrusters off. And get down here. It's got to be absolutely pitch black out here. Just see if I can find some space to bring the Skaar radar in. Maybe just the other side here. Yeah, maybe about here. Library, go to the top. Spawn. This looks a little bit bigger than I thought it would, and I've actually accidentally put it on top of this could be interesting. That's it. Now it's going to land on top of me. Right, we can get in the back here. We're going to need to get some fuel in this so that we can fly it. Skaar radar. Actually, no, capital vessel, general supplies. Skaar radar. If you look on the top here, you'll see that I've got quite a few fuel cells which I looted from the incomplete ship, and that includes also filling up all my fuel tanks. I think for the moment, well, we can put some. We'll put a whole. Wow, it's taking 200 of those. I think we'll also put some oxygen in because this planet doesn't have an atmosphere. We'll also put in some pentaxid. I've really got to work on getting some pentaxid now. Actually, can we? Don't. Right, we've got 150. Wow. 200. 249. Probably don't want that much in there. So I'm going to pull out even more. Yeah, we're going to have to work on some pentaxid. So this is the Skaar Raider. I think if I remember correctly, it's a ship produced by Jeff Randall. You can see we've got a whole range of constructors in here. Lots and lots of storage bays. I can just give you a profile from the here. We've got one ammo box, but it's got 80k. Got 17 cargo boxes, but you can see here we've got 4 storage bays of 320k. Plus there we've got 2 cockpits, 5 constructors. A massive amount of we can see it's tier 4 there, but we got masses of thrusters, doors, 3 fridges, fuel tanks is oh no, it's got 6 tier 3s. We got some. I think we've only got 1 med station, so I don't think we've actually got any health capability here. Warp drive, and we've got a vast array of weapons, and probably the best way to show the weapons is here. We're based on all the different ammunition types here. Actually, I think what we might be able to do is pick up some. I think we need some 130 millimeter. What was it? Can't remember now. That's it, 30 millimeter. We'll put some of these in here as well. I think it needs projectile ammunition, so we'll put a couple of. We can actually probably put all 4,000 rounds in there. I don't know if I've got anything else that's. I think it needs 15 millimeter as well. I've got an LS charge CV. I don't think I've got that much in the. Put those missiles in as well. I think they're associated with a capital vessel. There's a little bit of guesswork. It's probably the polite way of saying this. I'm gonna have to sort the ammunition out. There's 160 MSL, which I think I've got. Or is it 165 MSL? There's 160 MSL there as well. So if we go back to the Skaar, so we've got. I think the ship can. We need to make some plasma charges for CVs, black shells, and some. I think that's the laser charges as well. So it's a pretty epic ship. Actually, I've got multiple medical stations in there, so maybe the way the ship is structured with device-wise, it's put together in a different way. We've actually got pulse lasers, rocket lasers. I think we've even got mining lasers on this as well. So we've got 33 turrets. Let me just see what the settings for this is. Warp drive, NPC bases. Well, I don't really want it shooting predators. And so we've got cannon turrets, rocket turrets, sentry guns, retractable spotlights. Got O2 ventilators, passenger seats. I'm presuming a lot of this comes under equipment. Yeah, there's a lot of the medical stations there. So we've got an O2 station there. We've got a medical station there in this area. I think the way off of here is through here. I think if we go down, this is the way out the front. So we can come down here and get out here. And of course, it's all got switches, so it actually works. And then if we come up, let me just see where I get lost in the ship. Here we've got what you could call a combat command bridge. So if we come in here, I think we put in the And of course, everything's gone dark just to annoy me. We kind of come back in. I mean, this is quite a big ship, so it's really meant to operate in space. But this is the what you could call the combat bridge. Let's see if we can get a bit closer to. We could put them side by side. We might get an idea of a comparison on size. Problem's going to be is if I can dock these two ships together. Ah, okay, let's go. It's a rock thing or something there, or it's probably a base. Maybe this isn't such a good place to actually choose. I don't know. They look comparable in size, but it's a bit difficult to tell. I got kind of hooked behind her, and we'll just turn the thrusters off. Try and save a little bit of fuel. Got a feeling this thing is going to be pretty heavy on fuel. Then if we come up to this level, we've got a second cockpit here, which you could call a navigational stroke mining cockpit right at the front here as well. And you can just see some of the weapon systems out that way. And we've got it says laser drill, mining drills. Turn those on. And then actually let's just turn that off. Then I think if we come up here, I've got absolutely no idea where this goes. Let's have a quick look. Oh, this is another way up from here. So this is, you could say, a way that definitively, I think, because the ship's not level, and that brings us into here. And then up here we got a kind of mess deck with some sleeping arrangements. There's the core. So we've got this whole area here. And then if I come up to here, this is our kind of entranceway into here. And then I think trying to work out where the mining lasers. That's rocket launchers. These are pulse lasers. Let me see. So this is the weapon systems. I mean, a lot of these weapons only work in space, but we should have a bit of a knockdown capability. But if we go back down to over here, just get into bad habits from the beginning. I think this turns on the grow lights, I think. Then if we turn on those and go back up again, and if we go forward, see if the whoops, what you see coming out the top here now, just on this section here, is we got drill lasers for asteroid mining. We've got 3 on each side, which are now retractable, so we can retract those if we don't need them. Go back over to here. Now the dilemma's going to be is how I can join these two ships together, because you could call the mothership, which is they're going to be the one that's going to do the lifting, is got to need all the small ships in it. And I'm kind of now eventually I would like to get to a point where, where's my other ship gone? There. I've got a feeling that the Skaar Raider is a little bit bigger than this ship. That could be interesting. Eventually I would like my original ship to become the one that's in permanent orbit. We're gonna have to make it a little bit bigger, and that's the one. Oops. Now let's go down here and go out here. Question's gonna be is, at the moment the Skaar Raider is the bigger of the two, and it's probably the more powerful as well with all these large thrusters on it. I mean, you can certainly see it's got a lot more lift than this ship. So what gives me a little bit of a dilemma actually. Didn't realise how big this thing actually was. I don't know, can we get rid of some of these stuff? No, we can't do it. I think you can blow them up and remove them. I think we've got to find somewhere where I can actually do a comparison shift with the ships. I think I might have made a bit of a mistake here with respect to spawning them in this area. I think what we'll do is we'll just go up, pick up the SV. I think the SV will give us a better view of the current situation. It'd be a lot more helpful if it wasn't so blooming dark. Okay, we're gonna go green light so that we can actually see what's going on. Yeah, you can see the Skaar Raider is a lot bigger than my current ship. I don't know. They're comparable in size. It's just that my ship's a little bit lighter. The overall height and width. We've got to find a way to do this. What's the docking? Looks like I might actually have a docking problem here. So I can't dock forward because there's something there. The moral of the story here, guys, is that if you're going to get yourself a nice big ship, make sure it all fits together before you start. I think what we're going to do is we're going to dock the Skaar Raider with the other ship and see if we can actually take off. If we can't, what we'll have to do is go up into space and join them together in space and then go somewhere else. Because one thing I do want to do is visit the other moons in this system, because I'm quite interested in this what's it, Manapoa 5 moon, because this one's actually got aluminium on it. If we could see it, it's that orangey color, so I wouldn't mind visiting that, but I'm sure these are actually in the same system. We've also got this alien world with strange organisms, unknown substances ooze from the scars on the surface. So I do want to check out these 3 moons just to see what we can find from here. I don't think a barren moon qualifies as part of the Deadlogs mission, but maybe we'll check that out. So I've got to find some way to put the Skaar Raider on the other ship and take off. Because of course all the docked vehicles have to dock to one ship as far as I know, unless they've changed the rules. I can't go any further forward than that, simply because the turrets are a bit too close. I could possibly change the turrets. Let's just have a look at them. But then I'm probably starting to kind of go a bit beyond these 2 turrets are too close together, so we'd have to push this out a bit further. We've got a lot of space here. Yeah, we're going to go back to, oops, where's the landing gear on this thing? Can't, it must have landing gear. I don't think it's actually deployed its landing gear at the moment, is it? Right guys, I'm just going to have a bit of a hunt round to find the landing gear, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, welcome back. I found the landing gear. It's on each side of the landing ramp here. So it looks like there's a double landing gear at the front here, landing gear type 2, which is quite hefty landing gear. Get into here. Whoops. Get rid of the go back to normal lighting. And this could be interesting because this ship's got fairly restricted visibility. In fact, it's got, and in the dark probably won't be particularly that good either. So we're just going to get here. Let's adjust this possibly give me some, I don't know how. I'm going to see if we can dock onto the back of the capital vessel there. Press Alt, we can. Gonna need. I'm a bit too far forward. We're gonna need to kind of level off a bit, back a bit, down a bit. Break off again. Yeah, the we have to move back a little bit further. I can get in really close. Yeah, the boarding ramp is just in front of those thrusters, and so no, we don't really have enough room on the back here, do we? So we have to do a few modifications. Okay, modification time. Not that happy about this big kind of thing in front of us here. So we're gonna have to. I mean, this ship's gonna have to be flown. We can make a bit more space over here. Kind of maybe flatten this area a bit, knock the rocks down. It'd be nice. Yeah, we kind of just try and make a bit more space here. Just yeah, I'm turn the thrusters off. Through here. Back, turn the light back on. And where's my ship? Right, we're going to need to try and make some extra space on the back of the ship. Effectively like a docking pad coming backwards. Is this the front of the ship? No, it's the back of the ship. Oh, that's okay. So if we're going to need oxygen. This mid station. For some reason I've taken damage. We're on a planet with no atmosphere, so just come up through here. What we're going to need is some height across the back here. Let me just see. We're going to have to turn that off. I think if I take off, let me just get this hooked to. We've got the Skaar radar, we've got the capital, building supplies. I mean, we've got some Xeno steel blocks which I can use, and then that will give me a bit of space because these are actually lighter as well. So if I put you there, and then if we take off retrieve blocks. Oops, I've got to take the shields off. So just take that shield off. Needless to say is I'm kind of making this up as I go along. Take off that, and that. And say for argument's sake I put in a line across like that. We put a row across like that. And then maybe just to create a bit of a, whoops. Actually, we'll build that in further on. And say if I come across That good enough? Yes, one in that side, one inside that. Actually, we probably need to come like that, don't we? And then we'll come back a series of rows like that. We'll put you across the back like this, and then you can come in like that. And then if we come across, like, say, effectively do it again, like here, one bit in narrower. There. Put that there. And if I come back one row this way, one more row on top of the ship like that. We take out that block, that block, and that block. That can come in like that. Actually, we could. I think where I think of the block that I want. Something like that. I think that will work. If we put you there. Let's mess this up, I think. Should have put on the, well, that'd be okay. And then put you in there. That will join that in there. So that creates a kind of an effect like that. In fact, what I could do now is change this again. So if we get back to here, take out that out on this side, and not going to bother with what we call it, symmetry plane. We're only building something that's quite simple and straightforward. Just tuck that in there. You can, you're in there. Can come there, that can come there. That joins these two together. This creates a landing area here and a potential landing zone here. I think what we're going to do is just measure this up for size now. So it's a bit bleak, isn't it? Let me just come here. Can't remember where's the texture tool. That's a good question. I think it could be in some, it's an odd place to put it, but hopefully we'll get plain. Well, we can start with you. Give me a landing strip to line up on. Not that I'm going to be able to see it, but I'll take anything at the moment. Whoops, plane. Why won't that? Okay. So I'll do the rest of it. I just want to kind of give me something that I can actually see when we're trying to dock the Skaar to this. Right, so we created ourselves a landing point. I will do something about the back here eventually. We're not going to worry too much about that at the moment. We're going to have to let's get down here. The extra tool away. I do like this Skaar Raider. If I have to choose between the two ships, it's going to be a tough choice. And so you can see the actual landing gear has now been extended here, and you can see it actually lines up with these front thrusters. So it's these front thrusters that we're going to need to line up when we're landing. We'll just get into here. I'm actually wondering whether the... No, I think we're... I mean, the top one is really designed for maneuvering. And especially if you're taking down asteroids. So come in here. This is on. And we're just gonna back to the capital vessel. Move it back a little bit, and then we're a long way off. So once we practice, the distance to there, 200 odd meters, will give us an indicator. Right, we're nearly there. So a little bit further forward, possibly there. Not close. Need to go a little bit further forward. Let's see if we can. Right, we've docked. I didn't expect that to happen. No, I didn't expect it to be that easy. The trouble is, if I turn the thrusters off, will the ship droop down? It's always the problem because we've just kind of literally hooked on the front section there. Back down to here. And we've actually got a hook. I mean, it's a pretty tenuous link, but if it works, it works. And you can see the extra height means that I can go out over the top of the SV. If I hadn't taken this block up, I think those cannons would have interfered with the SV. Now comes the other big question, is can we actually get off the ground with this ship, or whether the Skaar will be too heavy. I mean, we are on a light gravity planet. I can't see anything at all. Well, we do have liftoff. I just can't see anything. We get back here if we can push up. We've got a little bit of forward visibility. Must admit, I'm absolutely amazed that that worked, but I think what I'd like to do is get up into 2 meters to orbit. So we're actually in orbit now. Let's just have a look. Right, in front of us is the moon I want to get to, if we can see it. Throughout the scan. Alright, we got a House Parrot class frigate nearby. That could be trouble. We're going to try and keep away from them. We need to find that moon. Where are you? There is 100%. It's actually got... I think we got to get out of here. Sorry about this. We need somewhere safe to get to. Can we? We can't lock target to there. I would like to get here, but I think we need to push off and find somewhere safe to do some testing. We go to here. Place around a hot system. Let's get out of here. Don't want to get into a combat until I've got used to this. Let's just get out of here. We've actually got quite a lot of speed. Okay. Away we go. We're probably going to fly into another hotspot as well, but that's the way it is. So we've got house radius here. Got Manupa 4. What have we got in this system? Magnesium pentaxid. I think what I need to do is get a bit organized. So we're going to head for Manupo 4 and put down and separate the ships apart. And then what I think what we'll do is we know that we can move between systems now with the ship, and of course we don't want them joined together. And of course what I want to do is make the Skaar Raider our primary attack ship for a space. So I think that's something we're going to need to look at. So we're going to get to Manupu 4. I think I'm going to need a better solution than what I've got at the moment. But I don't want to leave my other capital vessel up in space at the moment until it can possibly defend itself. So I think in the short term our technique's going to have to be is to put down and use a planet as a base operation, attach the Skaar, and then we'll use the Skaar in the aggressive role, and the other capital vessel can defend itself down on the planet. And then eventually what I'll do is I'll rebuild the other capital vessel so it can become an orbital ship with the defenses it needs to protect itself while in space. But I think at the moment we're just going to have to go with this slightly ramshackle approach. Kind of a bit worried of it. Oh, we're breaking through now into the atmosphere. I think we've got ourselves a fairly friendly planet. We just got to find somewhere to land now. This is going to be very cumbersome. We've got ourselves a bit of a problem here now because the weight of the two ships just makes it virtually very difficult to maneuver. We're going to drop down here. Land. And the thrusters off. And what we'll do is we're just going to detach over here. So take Skaar Raider off. Here we go. I mean, technically, we could, if this looks a relatively, well, we could just use this point here. This is a relatively friendly planet. We could leave the one capital vessel here for the moment and then kind of explore the rest of the system with the Skaar Raider and then come back and get the other capital vessel. That might be an option. I think we've probably got a better point here to compare them now as well, actually. Let me just drop out of that. If we go all the way to the top, I think what I'll probably do, if I'm going to be using the Skaar Raider a bit more, what we'll do is we'll move the food and crops to this ship. And then, so here we are, we've got a nice bit of clear visibility now. So rather than messing around in the dark, we can get up high enough and, oh, I have to stand on this corner here. Wrong corner, but Yeah, I mean the Skaar Raider is probably the bigger of the two ships. I don't know, they're comparable in size. It's just this thing looks a lot more intimidating. Is probably the polite way of saying it. I think what I would like to do is possibly put a med station and the oxygen station up here rather than just down on the lower deck. I think we've got a little bit of space here. So that's looking good. I've come the wrong way. We've got to go this way. Go all the way down to the bottom. Let's just have a look at this planet. It's not breathable. We've got absolutely no resources on this planet. We got this here. I wonder if this is another actual dead planet. Just to wind this video up, what I'm going to do is we're going to just go and check that very, very quickly. So we're going to jump in here, pick up the SV. This on, take off. Wow, this is a bit bigger than here. Set the waypoint, set remove. Alright, it's 14 kilometers in that direction. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fly across the planet and see what we can find on this barren planet, and we'll see if this is going to add to our dead logs again. So I'll see you once I actually get there. So here we are. We're just approaching this building here. It looks very much like it might be what we're looking for. It says emergency beacon. So we're just going to put down here. Just go and see if we can find the entrance. Okay, come on. It's got to be here somewhere. So it goes without saying that. And we found another terminal here. There, requires mission dead part 1. View log. Only partial messages are translated by your computer. We picked up a long range radar there. Okay, download the PDA. So we've now, it said mission 1, but we've actually filled in log 3. So we've now got 3 of the 6. So I think it's certainly worth coming here. Among the text the data scientists are recorded. And this is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you found it interesting. In the next part, what we're going to do is kit out the Skaar and carry on probably exploring this system. I'd certainly like to go back to where we were before, if I can remember where it was, so that we can check out those moons. I can't remember which one it was now, but I'd certainly like to explore this system a little bit more, just to get familiar with the Skaar before we get into any real trouble. You never know, we might even end up in a space battle. But until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.